in 5 U.S. adults experiencing mental illness, and those numbers rising. So many are struggling and suffering right now, living in shame, self-judgment around their struggle with mental health. So how can someone who is feeling those feelings reclaim power or self-healing and well-being? Known as America's joy magnet, Sherry Elise is also the author of Love Yourself Happy, A Journey Back to You. She's got some actionable things you can do, we can do to create a healthier and more loving relationship with ourselves. What a concept, right? We spend all this, good morning, first of all, my darling, you love magnet, this joy magnet you are. We spend so much time nurturing and working on other relationships. It's time to turn a mirror on ourselves and think about that relationship with self, isn't it?
Absolutely. First, thank you so much for having me here. This conversation is so important, Michaela. And I transformed my life and my own trauma seriously just from the ways that I treated myself and having this compassion and love towards myself.
Well, we could talk about it or we could just do it. So let's give steps. And you talk about these 5 things as self-compassion, right? We all understand the notion of compassion. Let's turn it on ourselves. We all have these inner critics, right? The harshest judge in the room is the one inside our head.
Absolutely. And some of ours are louder than others. Some of ours are a little harsher than others. So the first thing we just want to acknowledge is that we have one. Because once we become mindfully aware that we have it, that's actually how we can transform it. We can't change or heal something that we just don't know is there.
And we also have, man, and this one has been one I've been dealing with a lot, is this tape that's been running, the inner dialogue, often on repeat, repetitively, an inner dialogue going on within our own spirit and our own heads.
Yeah, we've attached this tape ongoing for our lives, and it tells us stories over and over again, often of things that are just not true. But so what we want to do is we want to be able to reframe this dialogue. And the best way to be able to do that is to see ourselves from a loving standpoint. So from a friend's point of view. So what that means is that it would be less judgmental. We would be offering more support and more positivity towards ourselves. So it can go from something like, what is wrong with you? Why do you keep getting yourself in these situations again and again, to something like, I understand why you're stressed. I understand why you're scared. I'm here for you. I'm not going anywhere.
It's really interesting. I often say to my friends, I wish you could see yourself as I see you, because then you wouldn't be as tough on you as you're being on you. All right, the next one is really about being in the moment, right? Staying present where we are.
Absolutely. So learning to accept the moment. And truth be told, as soon as anything painful arises, the first thing we want to do is we want to run for the hills,
Of course, we flee from discomfort.
Right. It feels better that way. But if we just hung out with our emotions, what you'll come to notice is that they usually pass within 10 minutes. Emotions are just energy in motion. So the quicker that we don't fight against it, actually, the more quickly we will move through it with ease and with grace.
My mom gave me the best advice once when I was in the middle of some fit about something. And she's like, if you feel something very strongly one day, she says, give it the 2-week rule. Like, I want to quit my job. I want to shave my head. I want to, move across country. If you still feel the same way at the end of 2 weeks, you might have a conversation you need to be having. But in the moment, don't make that decision. So important now, even though we've been isolated and we're on the way out of that, remember you are not alone. This is powerful.
Oh man, this is so powerful, because actually part of our shared human experience is being challenged. Every single one of us faces them. We all go through them. And once we acknowledge and recognize that we're not in this alone, it makes us feel less isolated and makes us feel more supported in that.
I love that. We're no man, no woman is an island. We're not alone, even though people may be distanced from you. Okay, this last one, I just need y'all to just bear with us on this, because this might seem a little strange or a little weird, right? I mean, you admit this even yourself, Sherry. But talk to people about the importance of touch. And we are allowed to do that now, especially if we're vaccinated. Talk about what you mean by the importance of this.
So we were once babies, right? And now we're just in bigger bodies. But when we were babies, what do our parents do? They held us.
Yeah.
It calms our nervous system. It lowers our stress and it lowers our blood pressure. And it actually releases oxytocin. So it changes the chemistry of our bodies. And I know that this is going to look weird, but I did this throughout the pandemic. So I literally just wrapped my arms around myself
Give yourself a
and
hug.
a self hug. Yes, that's simple. Even as simple as this,
Yeah.
caressing your face.
Well, it's funny
just
because, I often, when you're cold, you do this, right, to try and warm up. But in a way, it is sort of some self-soothing, right? I like the
Absolutely.
idea. It is such an easy thing to just discount self. I don't know when the tables turned and told us it was okay, it was not okay to take care of ourselves emotionally too, right? We'll pamper ourselves by a day at the salon or at the spa, but we have to nurture our souls and our being, our inner being as well.
Absolutely. It is a necessity. It's a necessity just like breathing. We cannot have these healthy relationships with others in the world if we are not settled and loving within.
Look at that face. She's a joy magnet, y'all. You have officially met a joy magnet. Her book is called Love Yourself Happy, A Journey Back to You. This might make a great gift for someone who's going through a struggle. Just a thought. You can get it where books are available. Thanks so much for being here, and I look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you, Michaela.
Stay well. All right, Maria.
Yeah, good
You're
reminder.
joy personified, by the way.
Aw, thank you. But it's good to have those reminders.
Yeah, we need them, don't we?
I do. I go home and I hug my doggy. That's what I do when Gus is at school, and that helps too. You are not alone. I love that, taking that away from that segment. Thank you, Michaela. We are looking at some wins right